It powers Instagram, it drives artificial intelligence, it teaches more beginners to code than any other language in history, and it was written by one man over a Christmas holiday because he was bored. This is the story of Python, the language that made programming human. Guido van Rossum was born in 1956 in the Netherlands. He studied mathematics and computer science at the University of Amsterdam, and by the late 1980s was working as a researcher at CWI, the Centrum Wiskunde and Informatica, a national research institute in Amsterdam. He had been working on a programming language called ABC, a language designed to be easy to teach to beginners. ABC had good ideas, but it was limited in scope and couldn't easily be extended. In December 1989, Van Rossum had a week off for the Christmas holiday. His office was closed, he was at home, and he was restless, so he started writing a programming language. He wanted something that incorporated ABC's readability and simplicity, but was more powerful, more extensible, and more practical for real work. He wanted a language that felt, as he later described it, fun to use. He named it after Monty Python Flying Circus, the British comedy group, not the Snake, the comedians. By the time the holiday was over, Python's foundation existed. In 1991, he released version 0.9.0. Python's design philosophy is captured in a document called The Zen of Python, a collection of 19 aphorisms written by developer Tim Peters that describe what Python is trying to be. The first three say everything. Beauty is better than ugly, explicit is better than implicit, simple is better than complex. These aren't just aesthetic preferences, there are engineering decisions that shaped every aspect of the language. Python uses indentation, white space to define code structure rather than curly braces using by C, C++, and C# and Java. This forces readable code. Python programs look clean because the language requires them to. Python syntax reads almost like English. Where C++ might require 10 lines to accomplish something, Python often requires 2. Not because Python is cutting corners, but because Van Rossum consistently chose the solution that was most readable over the solution that was most technically clever. This philosophy had a profound consequence. Python became the easiest major programming language to learn, and that changed who could program. Python's rise was gradual and then sudden. Through the 1990s and 2000s, Python grew steadily as a language valued by scientists, researchers, and system administrators who needed to write code that other humans could read and maintain. Google adopted Python early. Co-founder Sergey Brin has cited Python as one of Google's primary languages from the very beginning. Instagram, at its peak, serving 1 billion users, is built primarily on Python. But the moment that made Python the most popular programming language in the world was the artificial intelligence revolution. The two dominant AI and machine learning frameworks, TensorFlow Google and PyTorch Meta, are both Python first. When researchers and engineers began building neural networks, image recognition systems, and large language models, they did it in Python. Suddenly, every technology company in the world needed Python developers. University made it their introductory programming language. Bootcamps taught it first, and children learned it in schools. By 2022, Python had become the most popular programming language in the world, surpassing Java, JavaScript, and C++ in the TOB index for the first time. Python's relationship with gaming is indirect but significant. Python is not the primary language for building commercial games. It is simply its interpreted nature makes it slower than C++ for real-time systems where every millisecond matter. But Python's influence on gaming is everywhere. Pygame, a Python library for 2D game development, has been used to build thousands of indie games and serves as the entry point for countless developers learning game programming for the very first time. Blender, the popular open source 3D modeling software used extensively in game asset creation, uses Python as its scripting language. Artists and technical directors automate workflow, create tools, and extend Blender's capability with Python scripts. Game development tools, asset pipelines, build systems, automated testing frameworks are frequently written by Python because of its readability and flexibility. And increasingly, AI systems in game, procedural content generation, NPC behavior research, game analytics are prototyped and developed in Python before being ported to faster languages for production. Python is the language game developers reach for when they need to build something quick that doesn't need to run at 60 frames per second. Guido van Rossum served as Python Benevolent Dictator for Life, or BDFL, for nearly 3 decades in open source communities. This simply means that the founder retains final authority over the language's direction. In 2018, following a contentious community debate over a proposed language feature, Van Rossum stepped down from the BDFL role, handing governance of Python to an elected steering council. He later joined Microsoft in 2020 to work on making Python faster, a project that produced significant performance improvements in Python 3.11 and 3.12. Python's community has grown into one of the largest in programming. Hundreds of thousands of open source packages, millions of developers worldwide, and a tool that funds ongoing development. Guido van Rossum spent a Christmas holiday building Python because he was bored. Now, Python runs significant portions of the internet. It teaches people to code. It teaches more people to code than any other programming language in history. It is the primary language of the artificial intelligence revolution that is reshaping everything we know today. All of it from one man, one holiday, one decision to prioritize readability over cleverness. Programming had always had a barrier. C required you to understand memory. C++ required you to understand complexity. Java required you to understand systems. Python saying, just write what you mean. And in doing so, he opened the door to an entire generation of people who had ideas but lacked the years of technical training traditionally required to express them in code. If you've ever written a line of Python, you have Guido van Rossum's Christmas holiday to thank. If Python was your first programming language, like, subscribe and tell us what you have built with it. Thanks for watching.